Hello, this is Justin Chung, and this is Ed Talk 5. Alright, so let's get started. Chapter 1 was basically an intro to Common Core. Right? The main idea is that the Common Core standards want us to prepare students for the world by having them create stronger analytical skills and use deeper thought processes rather than just memorizing things and repeating them, because I'm pretty sure you guys have done this before. You guys will forget things once a test is done, right? Like, I don't know what the state of Minnesota is, or the capital of Minnesota, but I'm pretty sure I've was tested that. And that's what the Common Core wants us to do, is to stop doing that kind of thing, stopping this brain dump that we do, but rather create skills that we'll use later on in life. All right, chapter 2 is about how we acquire knowledge in our own brains, right? We need to create these connections from what we already know and build upon it. Now, knowledge acquisition, we learned that it comes in stages, and we need to know what they already know, what their bases are, and what's in their foundations before we can add more things to it. If we don't, like, for example, in the book, the teacher had an analogy about cows, and the students couldn't understand what the teacher was trying to say because they couldn't comprehend what a cow was, how big or how heavy a cow is, how to interact with a cow. So when we teach, we have to remember to set up the foundations that they will use later on, right? If they need to know what a reciprocal is but lack strong math skills, we need to start with that first, rather than just assume what they already know, by testing and assessing their current knowledge and also remembering to check for understanding. So just to review, Common Core incorporates all these learning theories in their standards. Chapter 3 was basically a review for chapters 1 and chapters 2. It's basically a pause, time to reflect on what we had just gone over, and it's also important to put that into your own classes, right? Like when you start a lesson, remember to review what you had already gone over, right? So that way, when you go back to the drawing board and teach, they know what they're doing, right? It's also important to apply these things in our own teachings as well. All right, we need to reflect from time to time and ask ourselves, is what we're doing working, and what can we improve, right? What adaptations can we make? For example, if you're in an English class and you're teaching very gifted students, like a few, maybe like 4 or 5 out of the 30 students you're teaching, as well as teaching students who are ESL, how can you create a lesson that adheres both to their pace, right? Can't be something too simple, because then the gifted students will get bored and not pay attention. But if you do something too complex, the struggling students, the ESL students, will have no idea what you're talking about. So it's really important to really reflect and see, what can I do to be better? How can I make these students learn in their own ways, right? And hopefully we come to the conclusion that we can ask our students to help each other out through cooperative learning. That was one of the things that seemed very important in chapters 1, 2, and 3. So just to review what we had gone over, chapters 1 was about intro to Common Core and creating deeper thought processes that we can use later on in life. Chapter 2 was stating how we acquire knowledge in our own brains and minds, and how we can use these theories in the standards that we teach. And chapter 3 was simply a review of chapters 1 and 2. All right? Hope you guys enjoyed that, and have a good night.